Hello, YouTubers. It says audio's working. We'll see. This is part 2, redo. This is my flea market finds for August 13th and for last week, since I didn't do one last week. I did one earlier. I put it up. About 40 people watched it. Thank you very much. But it had no sound. Wasn't very interesting without sound. All right, so last week I didn't do a flea market because I didn't go. I went to a car show flea market last Saturday, though, and not that great. Not a lot of tools. A lot of really rusty junk. Some decent tools, but stuff I already had. So for $1, I got this big old Mortising Chisel, and it's in really terrible shape. It's, rusty. The back end's peened heavily from being used without a handle, I'm assuming. That seems to be a common fate of a lot of these. The tip is terrible. Look at that. I got it from a car collector who said he got it out of a box of tools he found in the trunk of an old Nash. I'm thinking that somebody used it to get the hubcaps off or something. It's pretty brutalized, but maybe there's enough there to clean up. I've watched Big Life does some nice tool cleanup videos. Maybe I'll do one of those. I like to mess around. Next item. Oh, that's not on screen. There it is on screen. It's a can of coffee. Oh, a coffee can from Smart Final. It's an old 1-pound can. Now, in the earlier video, I talked about this, which you couldn't hear. Is back in the day when I was a kid, we made everything out of coffee cans. This was our arts and crafts material. It held your toys and your junk. It was the sheet metal you could get. If you needed to make something out of plastic, this was your plastic. You made it out of a coffee can lid. 63 cents. That doesn't sound right. How could this can be? There were never 63 cents. Anyway, no, I didn't buy the coffee can. I did buy the coffee can. It came with it. Today at the flea market, the regular flea market, this is what I purchased, which was a coffee can full of these little clamps. And they have a name on them. What does it say? Canoe Vice. K-N-U. Yeah, so let's see. Can I get that up where you can see it? Canoe Vice. And there's masking tape all over them. And the gentleman I bought them from used to own a hardware store, or he said it was a tool store. And he said that these were used for sheet metal work, like working on airplane bodies and things for clamping. And I said, you mean like Cleco fasteners, which if you don't know what those are, you can look them up. He said, yeah, kind of like a Cleco fastener, only different. So I got, how many of these? 5 canoe fasteners. New fasteners. These were probably pretty awesome back in like 1964 or something. They're neat. You can look at the construction of them, and they're adjustable here. Let's see if I can, will it adjust far enough to clamp to itself? Yep. And it cams over, and that's tight. So those kind of neat little clamps. Hopefully we'll be able to use them for something. Anyway, the whole can. Oh, and it came with these 3 smaller clamps. These are spring clamps that you clamp them down like that. The leather washers in them seem kind of shot, but they've got marks in them. See the marks from having been stored like this for who knows how long. But they might still be useful, kind of like a clothespin, but fancier. That whole can, $10. I don't know. I thought that was a pretty neat deal. $2 a pop for little things. I didn't argue with the guy because I thought that was a bargain. Now I got one more thing. It's definitely not woodworking or tool related. That's kind of a tool. I got a Coleman. Let's flip around the right direction. Peak 1, model 400. So that's a little older. They had 400s and 440s. Dual fuels. They're all kind of the same. This one's a little beat up. I've never seen one with the top beat so much. I have a couple other little Coleman. I actually have a ton of camp stoves. But when they're cheap, I pick them up. And one thing I find with camp stoves, people either think that they're not worth anything or that they're made of gold. Luckily, this guy was not worth anything. $4. That looks like it's in good shape. It looks like it'll work. The throttle's a little different on this one than the other one. Flame adjustment, low to high. It should fire up. And I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I have quite a few. 12 of 79. 1979. I was in 7th grade, I think. That was a lightweight backpacking stove back then. It's humongous now. But anyway, those are my flea market finds, these items, and then this was from last week. the crummy chisel. So not great, but they were good deals, real bargains. And I really like interesting little tools like these clamps. So fun for me. Anyway, thanks very much for tuning in. And for those of you who subscribed, I really appreciate it. It's very awesome that you like me enough to push that button. We'll catch you later.